Well, welcome everybody. I want to welcome any first-time people to our Zoom call, and just to give you a heads up of why we do this. Uh, Sue and I realize we've been in the business long enough that the community feeling part of something has very, very powerful benefits. One, you're not out by your own self. Some coaches are in areas where there's very few coaches, and this kind of links us together. You can see the power of people getting together just by being at National Convention, and how many people just being in that atmosphere just jazzes you and stuff. And so it's a place where we can come, we can be transparent, we can, I'd like to say keep everything positive and stuff, but at the same time, every time we meet, we should be moving ourselves forward. And so your job tonight for yourself is try to get something out of this that will move you forward and keep growing your business. It's not a sprint. We're not trying to get at a certain place by, the end of this month, even though we have goals and stuff like that. But it's just consistently moving your business forward all the time. There's so much going on in Take Shape for Life. And so my encouragement is not on these Zoom calls, is that because each of us can put a certain amount of time into our business. Some of you are full-time. You can put more time into it. Some are limited in their time. What I want to leave the message of tonight is that whatever the time, first of all, take those things that you need to be doing every week. I believe the leadership call, make the HOH get your clients on that and listen to it yourself for a while. Also, is somebody sharing their screen? Somebody hit something and shared their screen, so we will need you to, I don't know who it is, so somebody that just came on, and there we go. So when you come on, just come on and then hit your camera and come on that way, okay? No big deal. We're all learning this little tools that we have. But so there's so much going on. Tonight, before we get started, because this is about you guys and doing and talking about what you need. I know there's a lot of stuff going on and stuff. And so if you have a question or a statement or something like that, or we want to clear things up, and then I've got a little something that I want to show you. I got about 25 things I want to talk about, which means I'm not going to talk about all of them because I would rather spend the 30 minutes helping you move forward than getting to my agenda. Okay? Hi, Ben. Okay, so has anyone got a question or a statement they would like, or maybe they don't quite understand?
Jack, it's Carolyn. I want to I don't know if you're planning to talk about the new Creating a Healthier You interview guide tonight. Were you going to do that?
I'm going to, I've got it down to mention it.
Okay.
My first intention, I got all these brilliant ideas of, gosh, that is so good. I should show it. And then I seen that Tenters came out with one today, which I haven't got to view. I did the other one, the little video. So let's just talk about that now. On Facebook, all of you should be on Facebook in some manner. I would say it's a fantastic tool. You're looking at a Facebook rookie here, but there's so much things. One, on Facebook, you should belong to one of three of the Miller's groups. If you're not a senior coach, you should belong to the Start Your Business. And you should go in there on that page and look at everything that they have there. They keep it very simple. And the whole thing is to get you to senior coach. Well, once you jump to senior coach, then you should be on the Facebook Business in Motion. And the purpose of that is to keep moving you forward, keep growing you. A lot of things. We don't complicate starting one very much because we really want people to keep to the basics that are on that page, do those things, get to senior, and then go to the Business in Motion. And then, of course, business builders as you get to a certain level. I think executive director, you get to go to business and builders. But anyway, on those pages, all have the Discover Health Coaching. I don't know if it's a Zoom or which form it is, but there's two of them on there that talk about how to use the new pamphlets of discovering health coaching, and also start sitting down with somebody to see where they're at on the interest of being a client. Did you have a specific question?
No, I finally got mine today,
Oh.
and I have an appointment tomorrow at 10, and I was just looking it over, and I was wondering if anybody on the call on the Zoom had some pointers on how it was working, or any secrets or anything they found. That, just curious, because I was just reading it before the call and going through it, and some say just follow it line by line, and it seems pretty simple, but anybody have any input? That's all.
I give you a little feedback from what I've got. One, there is a couple of new coaches that basically took the thing and just read it. And that's kind of, I was a little uncomfortable with that. And I got to thinking, and they said, and it worked so good. I'm thinking, because what it did, it takes, and so I know Bill Ritchie told his team that you get up every morning and read it. Just go through it and read it. And people have just, they get very comfortable with it. It keeps you on a flow. You're not, I mean, sometimes we get excited, especially if we're new coaches and we get to jumping around and, oh yeah, by this way and by that. And pretty soon the person's head swimming because there was no continuity to it. These brochures are designed just to walk you right down the path. And what you'll find after you've done them for a while, because they're not that far off of the PowerPoint that we used to do. So, but it just walks you down. But the one thing it does for you, it asks those very important questions that you may not ask, especially if you've got a person that's ready to become a health coach, and you say, "Oh, great," and you sign them up, and you don't even know why they're doing it. And later on when you're trying to help them along the way, you can remind them of those things. So it's very, very powerful. I've only heard great results. People are really using it in a powerful way. Anybody else want to comment on that?
I would just agree with you, Jack, as I'm looking at mine right here. This is Jeffrey. And, sometimes we don't know what to say first. We go, well, hi, you want to be a coach? Now what? And if, the top line says, so if it was you, I'd say, gosh, Jack, what matters most to you? And it's such an open-ended question. And people go, what do you mean? And I go, well, what matters most to you? And and I have not used it personally, but as I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, wow, I can only imagine what dialogue that would get started. And then you just continue through and sort of fill in the blank. So it looks like it's going to be pretty awesome.
Yeah. And these tools have been designed from the field, from us. This is saying, what do we need? And I would say get so comfortable with it that it just is just natural for you. The flow will become easy. But they're so important questions, because these questions will help you down the road if they're not even needed. Like if you have a real excited person ready to join, you still need to flow through this. One, it's good practice for you. And two, it gives you, I don't want to say ammunition, but gives you some things to bring the conversation back as a coach starts to grow and go into different levels. So very good. Thank you, Jeffrey.
I have one other thing, Jack, that I was just noticing, because I'm holding the client one, the Creating a Healthier You interview guide, as well as the health coach one. And what I think is interesting is, since we know that many or a large percentage of our clients are the ones who are becoming coaches, however, there are coaches who become coaches right out of the gate. It appears to me that the Creating a Healthier You interview guide that's driven toward clients actually has more questions on it. What aspects of your life are you looking to improve? What are you looking for in a weight loss program? That then spirals into this other one that's more coach oriented. So they really go hand in hand almost.
Yeah, and I think on the client one, that's kind of built around the wheel that they show you, where you can ask all aspects of their life. Because you're really asking there, when you're asking that question, you're really asking, you're trying to get a feel if this person maybe down the road would be a good coach. You might find out early in the interview process that at this particular time, this person, you need to put all your energy into them being a client. stuff. So there's somebody that come on that needs to mute, picking up a little background noise. Thank you. Now, I didn't, Jeffrey, if you're there, I wanted to play this next thing. I think is very, very vital. The thing, your phone thing, Jeff. Do I have your permission to share that with them?
Sure. I don't know what you're talking about, but share away.
Okay. He doesn't even remember. Okay. This is just a real quick clip, and then we're going to come back and we're all going to talk about it, okay? Can you see it, guys? Can everyone see the screen? Okay, somebody has not muted. Somebody has not muted. Okay, I need you to mute. Okay, here we go. This is real quick, okay? Diana, can you see the screen? Is it on the screen now? Carolyn? Okay, something's wrong here. I want to come back because I felt like something was wrong. Were you guys able to hear anything? Hear me or anything? Caroline, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Jack.
You can hear. Okay. When I shared the screen, did it come through for you? When I shared the screen, did it come through?
No, no.
Okay.
But I can. Okay. I've got it, Jack.
Okay. You want to go ahead and share it? Go ahead and play it. Thank you.
Yeah. So I'm going to be very honest with you. One of my new goals is to become more acquainted with this thing, the phone, and not use email and Facebook and text so exclusively. So if you are one of those people who struggles with picking up the phone because you're afraid of what people might
say, or you're afraid of that you don't know what to say, whatever the case may be, I just wanted to record this short video to show you what I have found in the last hour after sitting in front of my computer for 20 minutes thinking, what am I going to do? What am I going to say? How am I going to do it? So I had created my contact list. There's a lot of numbers here. So first of all, get a list. Just get them on paper. And here's what I did. I went, okay, here we go. All right, I'm going to call Elizabeth. And this is how it went down. Beep, 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 beep. Ring, ring. Maybe she's not going to answer. Ring. What am I going to say? Ring. Oh, I got her voicemail. Okay, now it's time for me to talk. Wow, look, here's my script right down here on the screen. Hey, Elizabeth. I don't know if you remember me, but a while back we spoke about Take Shape for Life and my role as a health coach. And I feel like I kind of dropped the ball with you on that since I never followed up. But I recently made a commitment to myself to reach out to everyone that I let kind of slip through the cracks. So I'm sorry about that. But, you know, luckily in Take Shape for Life, we're all learning and growing all the time. So anyway, I just wanted to touch base and see how you are and find out if there's anything I can do for you. So when you have a moment, I'd love to reconnect. If you don't have my number, it's 602-330-4385. And I certainly hope that I'll hear from you soon. End the call. But that's not always just enough. So I've left Elizabeth a little bit of a note, but I have a little newsletter over here that I created about Dr. A's new ebook. So wouldn't it be nice if after Elizabeth hears my voice, she gets something in the inbox? So I click forward. I go in here, if I can see it, and I type Elizabeth's email address. I change subject line and just say, hi, Elizabeth. Just left you a voicemail. I hope you are doing well. I would love to reconnect and find out what's new in your life. Also, Dr. A just came out with a new ebook that focuses on helping people make healthier choices in every area of their life. I have been reading it and am getting tons of motivation from it. I thought you might like to read it too, and I look forward to hearing your thoughts after you get into it. Have a great day. So, there might be some typos there, but you get the idea. And we click send, and off it goes. Boom. So, hopefully that helps you figure out, what am I going to do? What am I going to say? Just pick up the phone, because I'm going to tell you, I'm 7 calls in, and it's a lot easier than it was the first time. And if they answer the phone, talk to them. Say exactly what the script says in front of you, and let the conversation go from there. There's a lot of people who need us and need our support. So I hope that was helpful, and have a great day.
Thank you. Carol, can you go ahead and unshare the screen?
I'm trying to.
Well,
I'm trying to.
Okay. You say, what was the purpose of that? Well, one, I think being a coach for the years we've been, probably the biggest challenge that coaches have is picking up that thing that he said about this little thing right here, picking up the phone. It's probably the one thing that people struggle with. And I think a lot of it is what Jeffrey said there too. Sue and I took the challenge from Jeffrey, and Friday and Saturday we sat down. We called for a little over an hour one day, and then we called for about the next day we called about 45 or 50 minutes. The thing that people struggle with is just that, and I think it's for 2 reasons. And you guys can chime in there real soon. One, I don't think you plan ahead what you're going to say, and there's different scenarios. Let's say you just started your journey, and so you don't really have a weight loss story. Maybe you don't feel confident about yourself because you look at yourself in the mirror and you say, "Gosh, I've got such a ways to go," or vice versa. You've always been thin, so you don't have weight loss. So the story that you need to tell is one that maybe you have a couple of before and after pictures of people that have inspired you, and maybe you're just starting your journey, and so you use that. I think having that story is so important, and also a person like in Jeffrey's case, he was calling an old client that he felt like he didn't take good care of, and he was very transparent with them. People appreciate that your honesty and stuff. Again, we're not trying to get clients; we're just trying to share our stories and stuff. Do any of you struggle with that phone call or getting that kind of activity? I mean, people are great organizers, but when it comes down to doing the work, and that work is actually going out or actually talking to people in some way, is there anybody that struggles with that?
Of course, it's natural. Jack, I'm trying to end my screen share. Can you do it? Because I'm still showing I'm on screen.
You should be able to go to the top part.
No, it won't do it. It just, the little circle just goes around and around. Can you try to stop it?
I
can't do it. Okay.
No, it won't let me because this will stop other screen sharing. Do you want that?
Okay, now you can just look at my rainbow there then. So.
Yeah, it's no big deal. So, other people, tell me your feelings on doing that kind of activity, getting out and doing those kind of things.
Hey, Jack, this is Diana. Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay, I really like that. I get a lot of answering machines, more so than I do live people. So is that video, is that on YouTube?
It's YouTube under Jeffrey Hattrick.
Okay.
He's got about 20 of them.
and actually see it, and I'd like to kind of write that script down and use it. That was really good.
Yeah, and like I said, what I did is I typed out my script ahead of time. So when I called and I got a voicemail, I had hi, and it was blank, and then what I wanted to say, and I had all formulated. I had the e-newsletter link in there. And so I'd call, leave my message, and send that off. And I would tell them in my message, hey, I'm going to send you a quick email that has some Dr. A's ebook stuff in it. It'll be really helpful for you. Boom. If I talked to him on the phone, I'd say, hey, after I get off the phone, I'm going to send you a quick email where you'll have this stuff. Boom. And I just had it already typically where, because I'm like Jeffrey, I'd probably have a lot of misspelled things if I didn't let my wife let her read it and stuff. Jeffrey also, he put it up for you guys where you can find it on YouTube and stuff. Very powerful thing. Did any of you catch the new presidential talk on the leadership call?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh, that was awesome.
Okay, let me tell you. I'm going to tell you his story in my own words, but this is what happened. And I met this young man when he first became a coach. And shortly after that, he decided not to be a coach. It's not because he met me, by the way, but he decided that he was about 1 month into the business, and he will be the first to tell you his leadership skills, his business skills, whatever you want to classify it, was just not there. And so about a month in, I think he got out there, and he probably, like a lot of people, got out there a month and a half. He became a executive director. And then he said, he didn't know what to do or what. And he actually told his coach that he wasn't going to coach anymore. And his coach went to work with him and said, let's talk about it. She talked him into going, because it was going into Sundance and stuff. And basically the things that went on there totally turned around. He decided, you know what? It's not the people I'm talking to. It's me's the problem. I think he said he read 22 leadership books. He really worked on himself, but he also got out there. He went back, and I think he said he signed up 36 coaches. And I forget, it was a month or two. It wasn't a long span of time. But what he did, what was it? Did anyone remember? But basically, yeah, it was a lot. He basically went out and said, this is what you got to come to in this business. You've got to come to a place where you realize, I know there's a lot of great businesses probably out there, but you're in a business that's one of the greatest businesses you'll ever get. The rewards, and I'm not talking financial, just the rewards of helping people get healthy, helping people build businesses, helping people make money to where their lives change. I mean, I don't know about you, but every time there's an extra $1,000 or something, that really helps. And that helps a lot of people when they do that. So basically what it told me is that you can get out there and this business, and anyone can do this business. The question is, what do you lack? Okay. He went out and talked to total strangers. So is there a script that I need to practice? And I will say this. I always put this out that I'm willing to work with anybody or anyone on their script as far as what to say. And I tell people if we have to practice it 25 times, I will, because I believe this. If you practice, just like the calls that Jeffrey and I did, taking out Jeffrey's lead on his thing and getting on the phone and call, about the third or fourth or fifth call, I was getting pretty smooth. Not that I didn't stumble sometimes, but it didn't matter. My heart was sincere. I was really trying to tell people that, some of these people I inherited. And so I was trying to tell them who I was and that I'd really like to work with them and stuff. And we got some very, very positive feedback. One gal said, I can't believe you're calling me. I was just thinking about reordering today. I was like, wow, Of course, my wife was talking to her, so she took credit for that one. But so before I want to go a little bit, not long, but I want you to realize if you make this decision sitting here tonight on this Zoom call, you know what? You can do it. Now, maybe you don't have the skills in some areas, or maybe you need to do something, or maybe you need to get with your mentor and say, what the heck am I doing wrong? And mentors don't know everything, but if we ask enough questions, we can find out from you, and give you some advice. But there's not a person on this call that can't go out tomorrow and start their trek to signing 30 new coaches. And I tell you, something inside of me wants to so bad win the trip to San Francisco. I thought, man, I want to go to Mexico. But you know what? I would rather win the trip to San Francisco. 8 coaching units. I'll hold up enough fingers there. 8 coaching units are going to get to go to San Francisco and hang out with Dan Bell and Dr. Anderson and their wives for 3 or 4 days. I think that would mean more to me than going to Mexico on the resort and stuff. So I'm thinking, what is it going to take for Jack to win or earn, I guess you would say, earn the right to go to San Francisco? And basically it means I got to sign about 6 or 7 coaches up between now and the end of August and take 4 to 5 of them to senior coach level. And then that alone, I think, would set me in good standing to go. So the question is Jack going to do it, or is he going to be talking about it tomorrow or the next day? Are you going to build your business, or are you going to be talking about it a week from now? And I hope this is not coming across scolding. And believe me, it's not meant to be that.
No.
I want to inspire, if not one, all of you to get going and say, you know what? Jack's going to stay home from that San Francisco trip because I'm going to take his place. I'm going to go ahead of it. Because let me tell you, that trip alone, I've seen it. I've seen it when Dr. Ray's people's won 3-day trips back to his house, and they've spent 3 days with him. They come out changed people. So I'd rather hang out 3 or 4 days with Dr. Ray and Dan Bell. But there's no reason I can't go to both. So anyway, questions or comments or statements, encouragements?
Jack, I have a client coach. She's been real successful on the program. She has a very, very, very dysfunctional background.
Mm-hmm.
I still want to see her succeed, but I don't know if she is just making excuses for herself or her situation or whatever. But I try to get her on these calls, and she is a recovering addict, alcohol and drugs.
Mm-hmm.
And so I send her the recording every week, and I trust that she's listening. Maybe I should talk with you maybe after the meeting.
That'd be fine.
Okay.
Just for some people that have it, not everybody moves at the same speed. And for me, I always wondered when I first got in the business, how come people didn't move as fast as me? It was frustrating. And then I lost the joy of doing the business. And then a light came on. Not everybody moves at the same pace. And so with her, you might have to pick out one area, or any of your coaches, you might have to pick out one area. I think sometimes we dump so much on people. And I'm not saying you did that, Diana, but I'm just saying sometimes that's why I don't go to step 2 if they haven't done step 1. And that doesn't mean they're bad. That just means I've got to hone that step 1 and get it really good. Because then, just like Jeffrey, when we made the calls, I got to feeling pretty comfortable at the 4th, 5th call. I mean, it was a lot easier. I didn't feel clumsy about it. Not every call went perfect. I would just laugh at myself when I maybe said a word wrong or something. But that's the same thing. We can't take a coach. All of us want to be a 10. We want to be at the 10th step, presidential, global, whatever. But if you don't do these other things, if you don't go and learn those brochures to where you can almost cite the brochures without even opening them up, then you're not. That's one thing I learned from that for the presidential, and I wish I wrote his name down. Jamal, I think I said that. But one thing I learned is he learned his craft. He didn't just fly by the seat of his pants and hope that he's going to run into somebody. He read 20-something books on leadership. He read self-help books. He made himself stronger. And that's what we have to do. We have to take these tools, and when you get really efficient at it, put that in your toolbox, go to the next tool, and make it good. Okay? Any questions, statements, comments, anybody?
I have an idea if I could add, Jack, if you
Sure.
don't mind.
Go.
One thing that I have struggled with, and I'm still working on learning, but as coaches come on, we know what they are capable of. We think we know where they want to go. So we give them all this information and so on and so forth. And one thing that I've recently, another one of my business coaches has been helping me to understand is when a client gets started, what is our first goal? It's to help them become a fully integrated client. And until they do that, them becoming a successful pending health coach is not as likely. Once they become a pending health coach, the next promotion for them, or the next logical step, is senior coach. Next step after that would be executive director. So I've almost had to peel back the onion because I know that those people can be and want to be executive director and they're ready to go, right? Oh, but they've never signed up for the Stop Challenge and Choose transformation, or they've never downloaded the ebook, or they've never been on Habits of Health call. So I have to stop myself and say, gosh, there's so many things for them to do, but I forgot. I never helped them be a fully integrated, deep-rooted, integrated client. So I back up and say, well, what would one tool be? Maybe it's the ebook, maybe it's the transformation. I think the transformation currently is my favorite, but you choose which one. And once they sink their teeth into that and that makes sense, when they're ready, they're going to be like, well, I got that Stop Challenge and Choose thing. What about that senior coach thing I keep seeing? Do you see what I mean? So I'm learning to even, and for myself, I went back to the Miller's Starting Your Business page and pretended that I had 0 clients and looked at what a new coach might have to look at, equally feeling just as overwhelmed, to take it back to basics. So I don't know if that's relevant to what you were saying, Diana, but sometimes we want so badly to give them 2 steps ahead, and then I actually forgot to give them 1 step back. Something I'm trying to work on.
Yeah, and each person's different. We have to walk. That's why it's almost like interviewing them. You know, that's why these interviews are so powerful, because if we did that to everybody, we kind of get a feel for where they're at. Some coaches of mine call me all the time, but you know what? They can handle it. And I don't mind. They say, oh, I'm bugging you. I say, you know, everyone that's ever called me 4 times a day has always been at least national and above. So when I get somebody calling me 4 times a day, I go, you know, off screen, you know, real happy, because I know pretty soon they don't call me anymore because they got up there and but they want, give me more, give me more. Not everybody's that way. Very few are that way. So we need to take them along the steps that they need to go. And if you have, you know, there's nothing like a 3-way call with your mentor to say, hey, I want to introduce Jeffrey to you. You know, I love this guy. He's a great coach and stuff, and I wanted him to meet my mentor, you know, and stuff. And then we talk. And a lot of times your mentor will say, you know what I noticed about Jeffrey? He's really got a lot on the ball, but work with him here. Or he might even, through Jeffrey talking, they come to the realization, well, have you done this? No. Well, maybe you did. So yeah, it's just like the 5-in-1. Coaching a brand new coach is just like the 5-in-1. We have to take them along that path and find out what they need, and don't give them too much. I cannot imagine today, when I first got in the business, the box showed up the door. It was a regular food box, except it was colorful. It had 4 binders in it, and it was like you open that up and you go, oh my gosh, what did I get myself into? Did you have that, Jeffrey? Yeah, there they are. Yeah, there was 4 of those. 4 of those. It was like, oh my gosh, what? And you know me, I just sat and read it. So, and then I think, man, this keep repeating the same old stuff over and over and over. Anyway, that's another story. Anyway, any more comments? We're a little long. I do want to try to keep these to 30 minutes where everyone will come back next week and we'll learn something new. By the way, if you have something you want us to talk about on next Tuesday's Zoom, please just email me and say, hey, Jack, can you cover this? And I know there's a lot out there. There's the new B Slims. There's the trip to San Francisco, the trip to Mexico. All these things are in your grasp. But we just got to get off our butts and go to work. So any comments or anything?
I think all I'd like to leave it with, because I love coming together as a community with people. Obviously, those of us that are on this, it's really very little about the information we're gathering. It's so much more about seeing faces, and now I know who Diana is. I didn't even know who Diana was. And what I think would be really fun is to challenge everyone, whether you go through my pick up the phone video or you use this, how cool would it be for everyone to come back and share something that worked really well by the next week? Because we are all the masters of our own businesses. This thing might work for me, but this thing might work for somebody else. And I think I come on the call to hear what's really working for someone else. So we have 7 days to pick one, throw it up against the wall, and come back and say, well, that didn't work, or that worked really well. So that's my comment.
Great idea, Jeffrey. And so you can go on Facebook. There's the different videos that explains all the different pamphlets and all the things we have. And so I would encourage you to watch Jeffrey's thing and pick up the phone, get out there and talk to people. If you're just out there to try to find out about them, it's not invasive at all. So I want to thank everybody. If you have any questions, I'm going to go